Blah. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you live from Site B on a small island off the coast of Costa Rica. It's 9-ish in the morning. It's the 15th day of February 2023, and it is an unbelievable, well, for me anyways, 50 degrees here at Site B and super cold wind coming off the ocean. So you've got to understand if everything sounds a little off kilter today. My head and allergies are going crazy because of this sudden gale force winds. Man, I am a living weather vane. We always talk about, oh, I have a real superpower. If I had a superpower, my superpower is I can tell you if the weather is awful or if it's going to change. Yeah. It's Wednesday. It's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game product that might be on the shelves of your friendly local game store. But don't get mad at me or them if I say a product and it turns out it doesn't exist, because remember, we are still being affected by the shipping issues. And it's even harder now than it was this time last year for friendly local game stores to get their product in stock, because Alliance and Diamond have raised their prices. It's getting a lot harder to ship things from where they're made to here or to wherever you happen to be located. The companies that make a lot of this product are focusing more and more on digital and more on big box. So the small little mom and pop game stores are finding it's going to be harder and harder to get stuff in stock. And that's only going to get worse, especially with some of the new choices Wizards of the Coast is making regarding smaller shops versus big box. So it's going to be highly more likely that you're going to find a small selection of tabletop role-playing game, mostly 5e stuff at your Target, than you're going to find one at your friendly local game store. And as for other companies' stuff, it's going to, if you don't order directly from them, by this time next year, I feel bad for the friendly local game stores out there that actually support gaming. Unless you're like me and you live in a city where you're literally 20 minutes walking distance from 4 tabletop role-playing game stores, or an hour drive from over a dozen, only one of which actively supports role-playing. Yeah, weird. I wish I could explain it. I have in the past. It still doesn't make sense. All right. From Exalted Funeral, for $40 or $25, we have Lilliputian Adventures in the Open Sea. Hardcover for $40, $25 for softcover. This is a hardcover, softcover core rules. It's based upon Into the Odd. You are exploring a vast and expansive, never-ending ocean where you land on uncharted islands and look for hidden treasure and unspeakable horrors. Your character creation is fast, random, classless, and relies on fictional advancement. I do love Knave, and I've heard good things about Into the Odd, and I like classless role-playing game systems a lot more than I thought. So it's sailing, naval combat, ships, creepy sea monsters, haunted islands, dinosaur islands, pirate islands, alien islands, basically all the things I love. So if you're looking for a pirate island, ocean-based, not Into the Odd inspired role-playing game, this could be for you. But I recommend just going directly to the website and purchasing it from them. From Third Kingdom Games, we have Populated Hexes Monthly, 15. Smuggler's Cove, $8. It's a 10-page look at a section of somebody's world. This section includes stuff on smugglers, some new classes, and turtle folk. This is an OSE type setting, and I guess this is some guy's world that he has turned into a series of 1x1 hex crawls, and each issue is another hex in his world. Clever, different, $8, kind of worth it. Of course, now you'd have to go to find the previous 14 if you really wanted to play in this guy's world. So if you're looking for a cheap way to create a world, this could be interesting. I don't know. I'd have to see it. From Stockholm Cartel, we have Hell Lost and the Omedosian Ossary and the Cursed Abbey. OMMADONIAN, Amadonion. That sounds biblical. These are $5 each. These are trifold pamphlets. Hell Lost sees the air filled with smoke and ash. The sky is burning. The ground is cracked and covered in rocks. The surrounding walls have carvings of dead faces on them. It's eerily quiet. The portal behind the PCs is opened and demons are coming out, and you are trapped in hell. The Omadian Ossuary is deep in the dark depths. An ancient death cult built a cathedral from bones. The cult is gone, but some of the treasure is still there. You need to go in, grab some of the treasure, and get out in time. And the Cursed Abbey is a small, odd abbey belonging to an order of demon-slaying knights that has been cut off from the world. And nobody's heard from them for over 30 years. But 2 months ago, news came down that maybe there's still something going on. From Limithorn, 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 we have Pyric Borg Collector's Edition and Pyric Board Reference Card. If you want to see a playthrough of Pirate Boards, head on over to my friend Barry Osser's podcast, North Coast Role Playing. They're doing a Pirate Board campaign. So Pirate Borg is basically Mork Borg converted to pirates. So it's rules-like game using pirates and the ocean and a dark Caribbean island as the theme, but basically with the same death metal sensibility that is Mork Borg and art-heavy sensibility. So expect a lot of amazing art. So it's $50 for the rule book and $15 for the reference cards. Yeah, so Mork Borg. So check on over to my friend Barry's podcast, North Coast Role Playing, to see an actual playthrough of Pirate Borg. From Meat Castle Gameware, we have the Blood Fields of Blackstart Station for Mothership 1E. This is a 40-page zine. It's $25. It's a battle royal hex crawl in a black market space station sitting in the dark space where basically, I guess, people are kidnapped and thrown into this, battle royale thing. And they are now constant contestants in this thing, and they have to try and get out. An unusual theme, a theme we've seen hundreds of times, but an unusual way to do it. So now instead of it being the Hunger Games in, section 1, it's the Hunger Games on a space station. Can you survive? For $25. From the Wanderer's Tomb, we have Flabbergasted and the Flabbergasted City Map. Dude, you just made this map using the free map maker and then are charging people for it. I can get this map for free. This is a unique hardcover role-playing game with the poster map. $70 for the rule book, $20 for a map that you can get for free. Of course, they went to the trouble of printing it out on paper for you, but literally, I know exactly where this map was made. It's a highly comedic and narrative-driven role-playing game drawing inspiration from the likes of Jeeves and Wooster and Fawlty Towers. Set in the height of the Roaring '20s, PCs can be aristocrats, bohemians, well-to-dos, or members of the staff. You're members of an up-and-coming social club, and you get into mischief, mayhem, and many marvelous misadventures. So, I don't know, Lupin? Maybe? A role-playing game based upon 1920s action comedy where aristocrats, have to deal with the real world in their usual stuffy aristocratic way. Oh, Muffy. Yes, Bunny. The store across the street's on fire. Oh, really, Bunny? Oh, that's very interesting. It's a firecracker store. Muffy, perhaps we should go help put out the fire. Yeah, let me just finish. I don't know. Is this a thing? Is this something that anybody would ever wanted? Have you ever wanted Flabbergasted, the role-playing game, and a map? $20 for a map you can literally get for free. In fact, I will show you where you can get this map. Random city maps. Is this it? No, it's random fantasy Bam! Medieval Fantasy City Generator. Hi, Cat Monroe Superhero. And from a company called Accidental Cyclops. Basically, an accidental Cyclops is you poked an eye out. So now you've got one. So you're Cyclops by accident. We have the Real Thing and the Real Thing dice powered by the Apocalypse. $25 for the Real Thing and $12 for the dice. It's a story-driven tabletop role-playing game inspired by the music of Faith No More. I remember people talking about this a while back. It's a dirty, gritty RPG that blends elements of mystery, action, drama, and urban fantasy. A story module places the PCs in an early 1990s where they become embroiled in the plots and machinations of their favorite city's seedy underbelly. Album-themed dice available as well. So if you've ever wanted to play in a role-playing game inspired by the music of Faith No More, here you go. No other bands. Maybe I guess will be supplements with other music inspired by bands from the late 80s, early 90s. Here's the Nirvana-inspired one, and the, I don't know, other bands that came out in the 90s that I can't remember. I'm sure there were bands in the 90s, right? And finally, hey, Kevin Smith. Somebody made a role-playing game about one of your movies. Matthew Graveland brings us Mall Kids Game Pack. This is a softcover zine core rules with dice. $15. Your teens who work in the mall, who have to deal with the events that make up their daily lives. If you're not fighting monsters, which probably won't happen because it's a mall, or saving captured royalty because it's a mall, you are rebelling against the brute force of consumer-based capitalism. So yeah, you get a pencil, you get a composition notebook, you get dice, you get the character record sheets, and you get to role play kids working at the mall. Mall Rats. We can't use the name Mall Rats, so it's Mall Kids. You guys remember Mall Rats, the movie Kevin Smith made after Clerks, that was supposed to be a huge multi-million-dollar movie, but wasn't, but brought us such amazing characters as Brody and more, Jay and Silent Bob. So here's a game based upon it. So yeah, Kevin. And that seems to be it this week. Nothing really stands out for me. Maybe this one, this Lilliputian one. I mean, I've heard good things about Into the Odd. It's currently out of stock, like many of the games are, but I've heard good things about it. And I did like Knave and Maze Rats, the games that, similar to Into the Odd. So if you want to pick up any of these, let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't had a chance to like, share, and subscribe yet. See what else is going on in the world. That's about it for tabletop role-playing game products hitting the shelves this week. So if any of those are products you want to pick up, let me know. And please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the OGGM Adventures. And hopefully you have a friendly local game store where you live that actually actively supports role-playing games. If you do, please take a moment and head on over and buy something from them, even if it's a stick of gum or a lollipop or a new 20-sider. Remember, it's going to be getting a lot harder for these small little mom-and-pop game stores to support themselves. Diamond and Alliance are charging more for shipping. It's getting harder to get stuff shipped to individual stores. It's getting harder for stores to order stuff because most of the big name game companies are moving more and more towards digital or Amazon and big box and less towards small. We just had an article about, Keys of the Golden Vault from the ever amazing Wizards of the Coast and how they are making it almost impossible for mom and pop stores to get copies of the Keys of the Golden Vault. Why would that be? Well, because the algorithm shows us that the Wizards of the Coast product isn't selling at mom and pop stores, which we know is absolutely true. Of course, the algorithm also shows that they're not selling at mom and pop at big box stores like Target, but it's a lot cheaper to work with Target. And Target has the kind of money to buy the books, even if they never sell. You don't believe me? Look it up. that's it for today's tabletop role-playing game physical product news. If you appreciate this, maybe toss me a subscribe. It costs you nothing and helps me immensely. Let's reach 1,500 subs by April 1st. And if you appreciate this content, maybe you want to take a moment to support me by buying my amazing merchandise on Big Geek Emporium. Link down below. 7 brand new zines filled with tons of new monsters. And I'm only charging you $2. Beat that. Till next time, I'm going to take my headache and lie down. I will talk to you later.